A lot of stuff in the book. I don't even really know where to start. One of the things that I think is pretty funny. Oh God, there's some guy mailed this to me. It's pictures where there was a festival in Kitchener, and it's called D.O.A. about 1980. And the headline band was Teenage Head, great band, and it has other Toronto acts like B.B. Gabor and Michelle Jordan and the Poles. And I can't even remember right, but the thing was just like a total fucking bust. They expected 5,000 people, and about 600 people showed up. So, of course, when we got our check and tried to cash it, it bounced to the moon, right? There's no money or anything like that, right? But this guy from Toronto, I can't remember his name, it's in the book here, but he sent me these photos about a month before we went to press, right? But it's like, it's a picture of me. Randy's bass stopped working, and so he tried smashing it as we were playing. We're only in the second song, and he couldn't break it. It was really tough, Fender pre-bass. So I said, "Dad, give that piece of shit to me. I'll break it." So I was smashing his bass, and it still wouldn't break. Really great bass, right? And so Randy got mad, and he flings it across the stage. And on the side of the stage is the monitor desk, like the monitor mixing board for the stage. It's like a big wide stage, and it hits the monitor desk, and the monitor guy goes, "Fuck!" And he runs out and he puts Randy into a chokehold, right? And he's going like, "Ugh." So I run over and I've got my hands around the sound man, the monitor man's throat, like, "Ugh." So there's two guys choking, right? So finally he lets go, and we get kicked off the stage, and there's about 50 punks want to start like a riot, but we go, "Guys, there's 300 security guys. It doesn't look good. Right? We'll pick another time, right?" So it's just kind of funny stuff, and there's like that's like the second, the second punk rock show in Vancouver ever. It was like, Punks. That was it. The name of the band is just Punks, right? And the Lewd, the Furies, and then these guys that got crossed out. So we went around and wrote our name as like the Skulls with Joey Shithead, right? So whenever we saw a poster, we'd just write in the Skulls, right? Because we weren't really on the bill, right? And but I want to tell you, like my family, I have an interesting family. My dad's was like a machinist, and he was very right-wing, somewhat, let's say, way to the right of Archie Bunker or Attila the Hun or maybe Mussolini, I'm not sure, right? So, and but what happened with our family, my brother became like a union organizer for the CAW for 35 years, and my sister is a really good artist, could paint, sculpt, carve, do anything, and then I got into music. But I'll show you why I didn't follow my sister's artistic intent. I organized this show with my first rock band. Our rock band was called Stone Crazy, right? And I rented the hall, I rented PA, and when I found this poster, because I have about 16 boxes of poster to make this book, and I culled them down to about like 1,000 images, right? So, but here was my idea of how to make a poster. Dance with Stone Crazy. We call them dances in those days, like, what's like a command? Dance! You must dance, but isn't that like a delightful, artful image, right? So that's a good thing I stuck with music, right? I left that kind of stuff to my sister and other people a lot better at it than me. But there's a ton of stuff in here, like I really like this. Where's that one I just saw? That was, I really should have these things marked, but of course I didn't even show up here with books. It doesn't matter. Anyways, I want to tell you one story about Vancouver. And now I know where's the first place they really had punk rock in Toronto? Was it the Turning Point or Larry's Hideaway or the Beverly, maybe? Beverly Tavern might be. I'm thinking that, right?
Turning Point, I remember that one, Larry's Hideaway.
Yeah, we played at all those ones, right? Like in D.O.A. when we came back, and there was the Edge, and there was two different versions of the Edge, right? So, but every place, not every place, but a lot of places had their own birthplace of punk rock. In London, of course, it was like the 100 Club, and New York was CBGB's, and it was the Mabuhay Gardens in San Francisco, the Mask in Los Angeles, right? But in Vancouver, the one that we had was a place called the Smiling Buddha. Yeah, right. You're from Vancouver? Oh, okay. Oh, okay, right, okay. Yeah, the Buddha was a great place. Previous to the punks showing up there, a typical evening would be somebody getting stabbed and getting carried out by the paramedics, and there'd be about six, 7 people there in the bar, and there'd be 2 hookers, 2 undercover cops, and 2 drunks, right? And that was sort of the average audience of the Buddha, right? So then punks came in there, and we get about 50 punks paying $1.50 for beer, And the guy who ran this Buddha, Lashman Jir, was so overjoyed. He was like, never seen so much money in his life, right? $1.50 a beer, so. Anyways, it's a big thing. So one night, Randy Rampage and I and our girlfriends were sitting at a table watching the Subhumans, and there was about 25 people there, and it was pretty low key. It was like a Wednesday night in the winter, rainy, and Vancouver's typical. And all of a sudden, these cops came in, and about 8 of them. And the problem with the Buddha was it was only half a block from the main police station in Vancouver at 222 Main, right? That's an address you never want to go to, right? Believe me, trust me. And and at this point, the cops, D.O.A. had been going about a year maybe, and we were firmly established as the town's chief troublemakers, right? If there was a protest show or something caused some shit, D.O.A. was usually involved in one way or the other, right? Organizing or playing or something like that. So these cops recognized me, and they recognized Randy, and this cop came up and tapped me on the shoulder and said, "You're coming with me. You're under arrest." And I said, "What for?" I don't have like one beer. I was just sitting there at the table watching the Subhumans. He said, "For being drunk and disorderly." And I thought to myself, like, I had about a beer and a half, and just like, I know what it means to be drunk and disorderly. I've done it many times, right? But this just wasn't one of those times, right? But I guess the problem was, as I stood up, I knocked the cop on his ass. So the other 7 cops went, "Fuck, get this guy," right? And one guy put me in a chokehold, and they dragged me to the door, and then 3 or 4 other guys that kicked me in the nuts and the groin and the stomach and all that kind of thing, right? And I passed out, and I guess Randy ran up, and he got his hand, again, the choking thing, he got his hand on the cop's arm that was on my thing, like digging it, that kind of thing. And but I woke up in the paddy wagon, and how I woke up, and there's about 12 of us, they decided to just arrest everybody at the Buddha, like all 30 people or whatever, right? And so the way they put in the back of the paddy wagon, then there's this road on the north side of Vancouver that's in the actual city of Vancouver on the waterfront. And so what the cops would do, they get you in there, they take this police truck, and they get going as fast as they can on this road, and then they step on the brakes as hard as they can. So what would happen, you're sitting on the bench, and I was still passed out from being choked. You would slam against the middle compartment, like where the window was, where the cab went, bam, as they hit the brakes. And then you could see they would stop, and the 3 cops would look back over the shoulder through the window and go, "Ah, that's a good one, look, watch this," type thing, right? And then the next move would be to hit the gas, so everybody would go flying to the other end of the van. And they would do this like 3 or 4 times just to kind of soften it up. And in case you had any other ideas about causing shit, right? This took the wind out of you, right? So, and we all got arrested. We eventually got out and stuff like that, and all my friends got pretty badly beat for making unfortunate remarks to the cops and stuff like that. But I wrote this song about it. It's on the first album. It's called "Woke Up Screaming." What they do, I just know I'm sick of this crowd. what they were doing.